Okay, so there's a little bit of an update based off of what we did yesterday. And I figure I show some of it off. The only thing I think that's not complete... Well, we'll talk about it as we get there, I suppose. We'll go through. Let's pause the music, and let's go ahead and boot up Mayhem. But essentially, we have updated the game. I'm trying out some balancing for the contact damage. I don't know if it's quite right yet. I'm probably going to play around with it post-stream. Been quite a long stream. Jump into the game itself. So we have new sub-weapons. We have new fixes for Silver Ring. We have slightly tweaked damage numbers on sub-weapons. And we're going to showcase a few of them, I think. So let's do Dagger, Bible, and Stopwatch. I don't think it's anything too new. I think I just put the persist visual. That way if you go between screens, it still hangs around. I haven't decided if I want it to zip to you or not if you leave the room it started in. I don't know what would make sense, honestly. I don't know why I booted it up normally. We have save states. So let's gonna showcase. We're gonna update the external tool that I can actually see both my relics. And also see Axe Armor action. We have the Dagger. It goes pretty quick. I have to say, really fast damage. If I start it over again. Just want to showcase like roughly how quick a boss would go. It's like pretty consistent damage. Yeah, you could absolutely murder a boss. Granted, I'm level 40, so I'm at the end of the game. It doesn't multi-hit, but it does a fair amount of damage. And I think the speed at which it does it, I think I'm gonna leave the damage about the same. We'll see. I was thinking about giving it a damage multiplier, but maybe I'll keep it on the weaker end, because it is supposed to be Dagger, I guess. But it pierces unlike Dagger, so it's slightly more useful. I'm gonna leave it at that slightly downwards angle, so it can hit things on the floor. Because I think that also helps if you're trying to snipe things that are like normal height compared to you. It'll just dip down just a little lower to scoop them. Also makes it a slightly better anti-air, because most things tend to be below you. Now we're going to showcase the completely new one that Chad has not seen at all in any regards, the Bible. So I surround myself with the 4 axes. If I go into the mist state, it keeps it around permanently. So I actually have a murder squad worth of axes now. And it's really good. Granted, the damage per hit is not very high, which is very much intentional. You can make this last basically forever, as long as you have MP. So this is definitely the intended go-to option, I think, with the Mist. So if you have more of like a Mist Seed, like this is pretty good. I might reduce its default duration slightly. Like now it's gonna tick down the duration, so it'll fall. But if I were to just like go back in with like full MP, we'll just kind of compare the kill speed of some of them. So I'll give myself a little more MP. Just a little bit. Not like full, but just enough. How much MP am I at? 139? That's probably good enough. So we'll activate and then we'll just walk into the boss. So you can see, like, we could do some decent damage. The contact damage is much lower. It is active right now. You can see the 7s in there. So it definitely shreds. It is very good, I have to say. The trade-off is, you might have seen, the cost of the hearts is very high. Now, does it offset how good this is for Mist? I don't know. That we have to kind of see. Like, right now, I think it costs 32, which is pretty high. Just to be clear, that's a pretty high amount of hearts. However, if you're willing to burn the MP, then it's fine. It is slower, so like you won't use this necessarily in like the speed run of the game. But who knows, maybe if you just happen to pick it up in a randomizer, you could just go ahead and nuke everything. Like, it is very good at stopping projectiles. It's slightly above you, but not more than the normal clock is. So it can hit people that are grounded with you. But generally speaking, if you're dealing damage to them, they won't hurt you. This is the rule of thumb. And definitely not if you're doing mist. And that's where I'm thinking things like mist like this are super good. Because I'm just conserving that whole thing all the way down. So I'm invincible and I do decent damage. So very unique use case for the Bible. Also kind of fun to do if the enemy happens to have like a lot of parts. It's just satisfying watching them like clipped out of existence. Yeah, you can see in general, pretty solid, but expensive. Now I want to do one more thing. I'm just going to showcase how much slower the contact damage is. You can see, like, it does okay damage on the ground. If I do it in the air, it doesn't do a ton of damage. But it's definitely much slower. So it shouldn't just be, like, instant cheese win. However, it can combine with the other hearts to do some damage. I have to say, if they're on the ground, its damage is much higher, which I think is kind of nice. It's not like the best at anti-airing, but if they're on the ground, you are rewarded for it. So I was doing almost double damage when they're on the ground. Might fine-tune the numbers a little more. See how it is. I think originally it was technically like 6 times higher damage if they were grounded. Now it's more like 2, and the minimum damage is increased. So I'm adding also some int scaling to it, so I think it gives us 1/10 of our int. So it does a base extra 3 damage. So it's not going to scale super hard at any point because the contact damage is still pretty high, but stats at least have some impact on it now. Hello, Granite Knight. Hope you're doing well. Looking for a save file here. I think there was a stopwatch here, I remember seeing just a moment ago. Down here somewhere. Yeah, something like that. I believe it's in the code. Hopefully it is. Yeah, there it is. So it freezes it into like where it was relative in the room, but at least now it technically persists. And again, this thing does a ton of damage, so it will still probably outdamage the Bible, but the Bible is way easier to get to persist, and it's way easier for it to track you. So I feel like there's good trade-offs. Like if I'm not looking to do mist only, I might use the stopwatch. We've seen it works really well on the shaft orb, and it's not bad damage-wise. It's not bad. Do we have regular axe? Anybody have regular axe? Yeah. So this hasn't really changed too much. I think the damage was nerfed a little bit. I think I was adding 10. And I thought I removed that already, so that was a bug on my part. So you can see the number of hits per tick, it's not super high. It is possible to double hit tall targets, but it's not super likely. It really just depends on their stance, whether it hits twice or not. So it's definitely nerfed, but I think it needed to get nerfed. It was slightly too strong. Welcome back, Chris. I'm just wrapping up the weapon showcase. Yeah, you can see it's not like quadra hitting it anymore. It feels a bit more tame. So for now, any weapon you pick up that is not the Bible or Dagger will be the axe. If you have no sub-weapon at all, I've disabled you from throwing an axe, so I feel like that puts more power back into Cuba Zoe, and I think that helps with the pacing a bit better. I feel like sometimes it gets a little silly how quick you can clear it, so some small nerfs there. Yeah, we're indeed SotNing. Well, this is just the throw axe. I don't think we showcased, but it does hit, like, off-screen. If you were to go fast and chase after it, it does make it last longer. You could kind of do some tech with it where you chase behind it. Pretty solid. Then we'll show the Bible again since Chris just came back. The Bible is like, what if you just wanted death axes rotating around you constantly? Very low damage, but consistent damage. Very consistent damage. I made them track So I had to put an extra code into that to make sure it actually follows you properly. It has like a little bit of a delay depending on where you are on the screen, but it's not terrible. So yeah, this is... If you just want to fly around and kill people with Superman, this is probably going to be the one you pick over Stopwatch. Stopwatch is obviously still good against Doppel and the things it was already good against, but... Yeah, just showcasing. It can stack all the hits if the enemy is big. You can see, we're doing a ton of damage now. Bonk. So just offering more ways to play the game. If you want a Superman, there's now a sub-weapon for you. If you just like to run fast and clear as you go, the Dagger is probably your friend. If you like potentially multi-hitting the big bosses, speaking of which... I'm gonna fight Dracula real quick. I want to see how many times it hits him. I did nerf it by a frame. I imagine it'll still probably triple hit him, but it is just generally nerfed in most scenarios. Maybe sometimes it'll double hit it. I think Power of Mist might need to do more currently. I'm thinking about what to do to increase that. Oh, it can double hit on Shaft. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so it has some use, if you could get in properly. Okay. As long as it wasn't quad hitting him, because I think it was basically hitting him before. Fortunately, those orbs do block it, which I think is fair. Oh, he's not immune to Curse? Oh. I thought he was. Interesting. So I changed the Kikiki damage type from Petrify to Curse, and apparently he's not immune to Curse. I thought he was. Unless that's Poison or something weird, and I have the damage types reversed. They look very similar. I have it listed down that this should be Curse. But who knows? Could have written it wrong. I just want to see, hypothetically, against Dracula. I mean, I'm okay with you having more options versus Shaft. He is kind of annoying to fight. I just want to make sure this can't cheese Dracula. That's the only thing I want to know. Oh yeah, that still destroys him. Huh, that actually works on Dracula. I mean, it's not useful, but it's kind of amusing. Almost killed him, chat. So Axe, I still think it's one of the best sub-weapons, for sure. I don't think that will ever change, even though it is nerfed. It's really good.
Go back whence you came. Trouble the soul of my mother no more.
So, I mean, I did nerf it. It does 10 less damage. It hits 1 less frame. It still quadra hits him. It no longer triple hits Shaft. So there's it's like a little bit of a nerf. It's still very strong though. Yeah, Dracula gets murdered. Bible in there would be sick. Actually, I want to see if we swap this to Bible. Can we just like absolutely wreck him? I just want to see. I'm sure chat would want to also see just how crazy it could get. We're doing the hypotheticals. It's like, what are my stats at? I think they're a decent value. Also, that's not a watch list. It bolted to the wrong folder. Interesting. Right, chat? Interesting. Is Bible 4 on the sub count? No, that's cross. Bible is at 5. Close. I'm like, I knew it was in the middle. I knew it couldn't be 1 or 2, and it can't be 0. And I had a feeling it wasn't 3. So, hypothetically, I'm coming in with 53 int, which is a little on the high side, but not improbable. I think 40 is a good guess of where you should be by Drac. is it deleting something? Oh, so there's something in the room it's deleting. I'm not sure what it is, though. Oh my gosh. It only does 1 damage, but it is a lot of it. It's a lot of damage. Pretty good, chat. It sounds like 4th of July is happening on him, all the fireworks. He has to be pretty close to death. He doesn't have that much health. And we're doing a lot of it, as you can see. But it does burn a lot of MP, so I think I'm gonna finish him with a melee. Or he'll just hit me into it, that's fine. How far off? Not that far off, it seems. 120 so far? Yeah, it was off by 160. So I could have drained my whole MP bar to kill him like that. But I just figured I'd rather save more MP for the boss. Also, because this is paused like this, it keeps the axes out longer too, which is really funny. So I'm like, okay, whatever you want, game.
Father.
I'm gonna recharge my MP during the cutscene. We're gonna do Dracula dirty on this one.
I was hoping we would not see each other again. I can't allow you to leave here, Father.
You have ever been the ally of humans. Have you forgotten what they did to your mother?
Think I would forget such a thing? No, but neither do I seek revenge against them.
Still uttering the same nonsense. No matter. Now is the time to put aside your weak human side and join me in remaking this world!
Dracula, in the name of my mother, I will defeat you again!
Hey chat, we're almost at full MP. Thank you, double charge MP. I could just do some hits. It's not like a ton of damage, but it is always hitting. Stand still, gain some MP. So it is a little slow against Dracula, but I think that's fair. It's basically a cheese strat. I mean, it should kill him eventually. He's just constantly flashing chat. He's the rainbow. Yeah, you could kind of cheese him out to some extent. I think it's more useful on bosses with low defense, for sure. Sandsill gets an MP. Dodge. It is noticeably slower. Oh, I didn't look at my health. It is noticeably slower, but I think that's fine. I don't think every weapon should just instantly defeat the final boss. So I'm okay with that. So, very slow. It is fun, though, against weaker bosses. So I think Bible is more of an early game boss thing. Which I think is totally fair. I think that is basically how it's designed. I want it to basically not do a lot of damage against people with high defense, but people with no defense, it should murder them. So I think that's working as intended, more or less. I can maybe fine-tune how much it does per tick if I feel like it's still under-leveled, but honestly, you saw, like, against the Griffin, it was completely fine. Completely and totally fine. Because the Griffin has very low defense. Okay. I want to compare how hard it is to do Dagger. I imagine Dagger is really hard to fight Shaft with. Because he could just deflect it. Like, even though I could do it in the air... Well, I guess I take that back. Maybe it'll be okay. So what I'll end up doing is I'm gonna try more of a spell and hearts approach. Just to get a feel for it, because I need to kind of see where it takes us in game. I'm gonna wait a little bit, get some MP, kind of fly up. Like, okay. It's not gonna multi-hit, but it can reach him from the far side. Just inconsistent. That wasn't too bad. It did cost me a ton of MP though, as you can see. The other one was a technically less MP intensive one, and this one also probably cost me more hearts overall. Because every axe was 4, so I probably spent like 90 hearts compared to 32. So, whereas I don't feel the Bible is that useful on Dracula, the dagger might hit him twice here. I'm not sure, because he's very big. So, for example, if I stand like over here-ish, recharge some MP. It's like still slightly too long. It's better than nothing though. I'm just getting a feel for it. It doesn't double hit. So like, do I feel like slightly unnerfing Dagger to double hit in this scenario? Would it make sense to let Dagger multi-hit? Oops. Interesting. Okay. I don't know, chat. I'm just thinking about it. Do I want it to multi-hit in that scenario? I mean, I kind of always viewed it as a one-hit one. Maybe? I don't know. I still think Axe is the best. For sure. I think Axe should always feel like the best one. You are the Axe Lord Armor. You should probably use the Axe. But hey, if you get something else... Yeah, I think this was originally doing like 49 damage, just to give chat an idea. Oh, you can see me critting for 52 randomly. So I can see the crit is working at least. Kind of a nice touch. So, at least the random crits are applicable. I think with how often the Bible hits, it is very likely to trigger the crits. I could put something in the damage formula to guarantee a certain minimum damage. Like, if it's like crit steal 1 plus that damage, because that would actually benefit the Bible quite a bit. Their problem is that they need to basically do at least 15 damage, I think. Which is kind of hard for them to do. Like 20% of 10 is still 12, even if I add 1, it's gonna be 13. In like the best case scenario. So who knows, I might retweak the Bible that's slightly more powerful. Think about it. Ricochet Stone does the same thing as Axe. I want to showcase something else. Where's it at? Here it is. Our good old friend the door, chat. I have conquered it. You can finally go through this stupid door. Oh my god, I hate this door so much. It makes you pause briefly, because it's technically doing the door loading animation. And I'm like, whatever. It works now. Door be gone, chat. Am I anywhere near library? Maybe this one could go to library. Oh, I guess I could show one thing. I'm not able to clip out of bounds anymore. The other change. Also, when I put a damage multiplier in the dagger, it gave it so much power, it was actually doing like 30 damage to the tombstone that normally only is 5 health. So I think for balancing reasons, I don't think I can give it a damage multiplier. I thought about it. If I do, it has to be less than 20%. It has to be like 5% or something. There we go. Door has been defeated. What else do you want to test? I guess we'll do the normal library. Oh my gosh, that is so weird. Look how weird my momentum is there. Look at that. That's not right. SotN, what did you do on that staircase? Right, Chad? Did you see how weird that was? Like, that wasn't axe armor. It was just it couldn't handle the speed. It's like I'm in back, I'm in front. It's like it like had a slope, but it didn't. It was very weird. Let's go back to library. I believe I have a warp. I could Bible if I want to. Yeah, we'll see. If we feel Bible's undertuned, I don't know. I'll get the opinions of players, how they feel about it. I can still clip through there, which is good. I guess while we're here, I can showcase I don't clip through the stupid door anymore. There you go. I'm mashing it, not able to get in. Good. All I care about, chat. That's fixed. I guess we could go to Silver Ring eventually. Silver Ring's kind of a weird case. I think for now I'll do Library and Silver Ring later, because I have a million places at Silver Ring, but I have very few at the Library. What indeed. I'm gonna showcase I can enter this room, and it doesn't behave weirdly. Be like I'm up here, able to walk around, nothing happens. Able to go here, walk around, nothing happens. Walk here. In we go. Oh my gosh, so now every door in the game is accessible. So that's a big fix. Because that is definitely an inconvenience to players, as this is usually the first word people will take. As I said before, I might tweak how Form of Mist and Power of Mist work. I think their current functionality are fine. I just feel like they don't get enough comparatively. So I don't know if I'll do something like Power of Mist also improves Gas Cloud or something like that. If I want to add a dependency, because normally if I have something, it buffs something that there's no dependency on. Like, Form of Mist gives me that upwards L1, for example, where I can go up in the sky briefly. Power of Mist lets me hold the normal faceplant for longer. It also gives me flight. But, like, when you have that already, I feel like Power of Mist doesn't really do a lot for you. So I haven't really decided what it should do, comparatively. Think about it. Because every other relic feels amazing to pick up. Like, if I get Power of Whoop, it feels good. If I get Fire of Bat, it feels really, really good. Echo Bat's okay. You know, if you don't want to blind bat it, you know, it's convenient and you still get damage. But Power of Mist, I don't know. I mean, it gives you flight, but I don't know. I feel like it should just do, like, something small. It doesn't have to be, like, and then I get 50 million damage, but just, like, something where it's like, oh, I got Mist, so I'm gonna change my playstyle by doing this instead. Like, I could have it do some things like, it could change the damage type of the kicks, it could change how often it checks damage for the kicks, the kicky feed. It could allow for permanent face plant, but that seems kind of weird. It could make face planting cheaper. That might actually not be a bad one to do. It gets rid of the initial cost. So the tick per second. Yeah, I'll think about it. I could do that. If you have Power of Mist, it makes it slightly cheaper to do flight. That way it has, like, some difference than that. And it doesn't have to be, like, a monumental change. Like, it'll just cost, like, instead of checking once every second, it checks, like, every second and a half. Like, it's not, like, a huge change, but I think it does need that kind of quality of life. Let me go ahead and make a note here. Power of Mist. Form of Mist. Cheapen. Base plan initial cost. Power of Mist. Cheapen. Base plan initial cost. By one. Just 1 MP, chat. I'm talking, like, very minute, but it adds up over time. And gives slight delay to late cost. So I think right now it's at 4 or 5 MP to activate. It could go all the way down to 3. I think that's okay. I don't want most of your MP to be burned dodging. So if you pick these up, it should just make dodging cheaper. So if you want to go more of a face planty route, that might be good. You already get 16 extra, not 16, right? So you get 1 extra second of flight, Form of Mist. Power of Mist gives about 2.5 seconds more flight without needing to do that. You could get some more mobility from it, but as I said before, it just needed a little something. I think I'll probably add that in. Talking about it out loud, it sounds perfectly fine. Because I think I'm looking to kind of fine-tune MP costs over time. And just that really small change would be both a quality of life change and give more love to those relics. So I do like, Form of Mist is required, but I do like what it gives with the extra bounce and the extra tech that comes with it. And Power of Mist isn't bad, I just don't think it's as good as like Soul of Bat. Soul of Bat gives you like so much. It gives you like spell, flight, etc., etc. And again, I don't want everything to be damage either, so that's why I was trying to think of something a little different than just raw damage. Did I just dash attack through that? That's messed up. Why does that not hit me? Like, do this? I'm shaking my head, chat. What are these iframes? This isn't me. This is vanilla. Vanilla iframes on attacking. Can I not be hit while I'm attacking? Like, on the downward motion? I mean, obviously, if it's already down, I will get hit. No, that was too early. Yeah, it's like right in the middle of the swing. Huh. You know what, chat? You learn something new every day. I definitely have iframes. Like, I'm not hitting it for damage. I'm not putting it in a stun state. Yet, I'm not taking damage. And it's very consistent, as long as I do it at the same time. There. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna leave it in. I mean, this time I'm just outright killing the enemy, so they're not gonna hurt me. Yeah, I love the Superman, chat. Just look at the Superman. Look how fast Superman goes, chat. Man, so fun. Yeah, I think that'll be the tech. I could check this Mosquito. I mean, like, it is possible to fall through, but as I said before, you have to try really, really hard to not clip back into bounds. I don't know. You'd have to do something like, look how hard that is for me to do this on purpose. Like, I don't know. What are the odds of somebody gonna do that and then not clip out to the right? I think kind of low, chat. Because any direction at all will put you back on the right side of the room. That's like the... Yeah, you have to still hold left and not have MP. Which... I mean, I guess I could put something there. I guess. Actually, how do I clip back inbounds? Or is it not possible? Also, I hit faceplant by accident. Big. I just jump through here. Oh, it still puts me on the outside. Oh, well, that's a problem. I mean, I could add a safety check to this one. I don't think I'm gonna do it today. I'll probably have God's Child play the current build. I'm not gonna touch it too much. I'm gonna see what his thoughts are on the sub-weapons. Oh, and you can't get out. Almost, Chad, almost. Yeah, so you're stuck if that happens. But again, it's like you'd only go there in adventure mode, and we know adventure mode isn't ready. I'm not gonna worry about it now. I'm just gonna put a small note. Add Softlock. Anti-Softlock, Anti-Softlock. I think only this outer wall, 8. Because you don't need to do it in reverse. Because that'll put you back in the room if you do that. Yeah, I don't have to do it in reverse. That's fine. I want to check one more thing. Where's the... Here we go. So I added another Softlock prevention, so it should be pretty hard to clip out. Like, I think you could clip through the ceiling to some extent, but... Like, you can see, like, I'm purposely stopping, and it's not happening. Like, I think if you hit the spikes right, you could still get out, but... It feels more consistent, I'll put it that way. Well, there I was starting to clip out. I'd have to do something like... Nope, I still didn't even clip out. Yeah, it's very difficult now, I'm gonna put it that way. Like, see, it almost clipped me out of bounds there. Almost, but then it put me back in. So, I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but... You gotta be really trying to go out of bounds on purpose, and I can't help that if you do that. I think we can all agree, chat, it looks fixed. Like, other than when I do it, as I said, I had to try really hard to clip out of bounds there. That took, like, what, 40-something attempts? If I have to do it a 1 in 40, I think I'm okay with that. And that only happened because I let go of L1, by the way. Like, I have to purposely, like, slide in and then let go. Like, see how I have, like, only 16 MP? I have it set up so that, like, you don't run out of MP here. To see this? You have infinite MP. So as long as you're holding L1, it should not be possible to fall out with how I set it up. You can even see the MP gauge flickering as it's trying to charge me MP. Like, even if you go really slow, if you're holding L1, it's not possible to clip out. See what I mean, chat? So, I mean, like, it's a lot better. It also lets you go higher, so you're less likely to bonk. I mean, you still see, like, you get some kind of goofy motion sometimes, but it keeps you in bounds. Oh, I actually landed on the misgate. That was interesting. Yeah, you have to try really, really hard. You have to, like, scoot in backwards and then let go while you're, like, in the air, like, something like that. Even then, I still didn't get it. So, like, I'm not gonna say it's impossible to clip out of bounds, but it's just... I think it's safe to say it's at a point I probably will not touch it again. Unless I rework how getting out of bounds works in general. But I feel pretty good about that. It looks a lot more stable. Players should not clip out of bounds. Hopefully people have fun with it. Do you have anything else worth showing? Oh, that was our testing. I need to find more information on this. We're gonna test it later. Today's been a very long stream, so I need food. It's going on 4 o'clock. I've been up since 8. I have not had a meal, chat. I am hungry. But I think this is a pretty good showcase of where we're looking to go. I have to figure out what I want to do with the cross. It's probably going to need its own system, sort of like how the Bible tracks you. That's not something the game does. I'm forcing it to track Alucard in that scenario. So that's why there's like a little bit of a jitteriness if you're like near the edges of the screen. But otherwise, when you're in the center of the screen, there's no issue. It follows as expected. But hey, new functionality. Looks kind of fun. Again, if we need to tune up some damage numbers, I prefer to get feedback from the players that are doing it. And I could sort of see where some of the downfalls of these weapons are, testing them against some of the harder bosses. But obviously, the best way to test them is to literally just have a whole run where you only have those. See how you feel about it. But I think overall, things like Stopwatch is actually still pretty useful against Dracula. Mixed results on Shaft. I mean, he tends to favor one of 4 cardinal directions. So it's like a little useful, but not like too crazy. Probably stronger than Bible because it could crit. So there's a lot of different considerations. So I feel like right now there's 2 weapons really geared towards Mist. And honestly, also not... The Bible's also pretty good for Bat as well, as it makes gliding a lot safer. So I feel like there's a lot of utility kind of going through it, and hopefully we see that with some of the future ones. Now, I still have no idea what to do with the Goonie, aka the Lightning Gauntlet. I don't know what to do with Holy Water. I don't know what to do with Holy Ash. We might have to invent custom effects. If we could somehow get a thrown axe, that would be cool. Like, other than the sub-weapon one. But I need to think about it more. We need to explore more, and I think we'll save that for another session. But I think from the standpoint of the stream chat, we'll talk about thoughts and feelings of it so far. So hopefully you, chat, liked the new sub-weapons. The game is a lot more stable. I still have to look into Akbadon. Akbadon is still kind of an issue. I thought I could just make it do it so it doesn't change your state unless you... You know, if you're in the state where you get thrown, let it do its thing. But that's not good enough, because unfortunately with the way it's set up, I freeze the state, so it's not able to change you to that state successfully. So it acts a little weird. Like, if I just get thrown without the axe armor, it's fine. However, the change I did make does mean that future slams should work, because I can set you to that state preemptive of the slam happening, and I could be sent flying. So there was work on it. It's just not anything I can really show, because I didn't complete the slam portion of it. I completed the axe armor side of things, so definitely in the future, if I need to be put in more states, it can happen. But I think that's where we're going to leave off for now. So we're going to say so long to YouTube, and stick around a little longer, chat. We'll talk about what we'll be doing in the future. But thanks again, YouTube. Hope to see you again next time.